As a petrolhead dreaming of owning a diesel one day, I am also utterly curious what the other side looks like. Camping in a full electric pickup? A Rivian R1T to be exact. In this video, we will learn all about it. The good.
Keep going.
Whoa!
About right there.
The bad.
7 deadly Rivian sins. Yes, this is stupid. If I use my car's battery, which I do for my induction kitchen, I don't want to use up mileage.
And whether a Rivian is for you. Spoiler, it may not be. May I have your attention for a public announcement? As we step into the last month of 2023, a brand new year calls for a brand new calendar. I made a very limited amount of 2024 wall calendar comprised of photos I've taken from each month throughout my travel, which means you'll see both Elta and Coco in each corresponding season. These are exclusively for my Patreon best friends. Become a best friend or upgrade your Patreon tier in December, I'll get one out to you ASAP, along with all the other Patreon perks. I have already mailed out copies for my current best friends, but there's still time for you to join and support the channel. Find out more in the description. I took the scenic Highway 20 towards Darrington. There is the option to go through I-5, but I reckon we can all agree that this fall-colored, relaxing drive is way better than the multi-lane city rush. I haven't drafted anything for this trip. The plan is to meet someone I've known of since the early car show days, who is also now one of my Patreon best friends.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dominique. So I arrived almost an hour ahead of him. I texted him not to rush as I sit myself at a local cafe to catch up on journal. By the way, their grilled cheese is so good. Meanwhile, he was about to finish up his 30 minutes charging session on the way. Yep, that full electric life.
You are here. What is that?
It's a Lotus. It's my lifeblood. Coconut topper. But it's better than a Red Bull.
Yeah, look at that. How cool is that?
Not gonna lie, this thing looks so much prettier than in the photos online. Dom became a Rivian owner earlier this year. The whole Rivian brand have their eyes on the outdoor theme from the very beginning. The first 2 prototypes were showcased in The Long Way Up, the TV series starring Ewan McGregor, where the 2 trucks were acting as support vehicles for the 2 full electric Harley-Davidson. Other than that, I knew absolutely nothing about the Rivian. So when Dom started exploring and camping in his brand new Rivian, I became nosy. Since I am the visiting Canadian here, Dom led the way straight up the mountain to a fire lookout. Climbing up to the top of a fire lookout is always a treat because you know you'll be greeted with an unobstructed panoramic view. Though I'm wondering, where's the window? Where's the door? The whole tower looks literally physically closed. Luck was on our side. We ran into the person who's managing this tower. Carson told us the glass has been covered for the winter, and since the tower no longer serves the purpose as a fire lookout, it is now... I'll let him explain.
Right, it is a public rental through Airbnb under the North Mountain Fire Lookout.
So we're closed for now. Then when does it start again?
It will be physically opened the beginning of June. Be rentable by middle to late June. We've discovered that snow, you just can't get up here until that point. But it's a 3-month rolling rental. So in middle to late March is when the reservations open for June.
Sweet. So you can book a night here for around 100.
We're going to do a price of 140 next year.
Sweet.
And you have to book shortly after midnight because when it ticks over to the next day and the next reservation is open, people are out there looking and they grab it within 2 minutes.
Oh, so it's kind of one of those, like a ticket that you have to like stay there but yeah.
Yeah.
And from here,
sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't because you just don't know where the electrons are going.
Yeah.
Whose click comes in first.
Yeah.
It's kind of rough for a lot of people.
But
it's exciting to see it coming to life that way. For everybody's enjoying this so much. Yeah. In the 70s, it stopped under its full use. There was continued use with radio relays and things, but it was falling into great disrepair after the turn of the century, falling prey to weather, vandalism. It was a huge restoration job. Huge shout out to all the volunteers in this local community who came up to be part of this vision. It was big, big work. And you can find out more information about this on Facebook of Friends of North Mountain, or going to our organization, Darrington Strong, darringtonstrong.org. There's another website, Discover Darrington, that may be also giving you pathways. All these different ways to find out and connect.
it's raining, but I'm trying to stay dry in my Vessi jacket.
Thanks to Vessi for sponsoring this episode. You never know what you get out in the mountains. Although ever-changing weather is always a given, camping in rain can still catch you off guard. My usual attire includes Vessi jacket, gloves, and sneakers. All of them are waterproof. Jackets and gloves are kind of a no-brainer for handling wet stuff out in the opening. The pair of shoes I'm wearing right now is the weekend style in the limited edition color light spruce green. Goes pretty well with the green jacket, don't you think? The Dymatex material gives them a perfect hugging feel and keeps my feet dry. The weekend sneakers, in my mind, is more of a hybrid. You can dress to city smart or a bush bum. That's my way of saying dress up or down, by the way. Among their other styles, you got Soho, which is more on the city end, and Alta high top that might just be a staple for this winter. Fleece lining for the chills, rugged outsole for the slush. Winter is also holiday season, so why not gift yourself or your loved one some warmth? I'll give you a 15% off your first order if you go to vessi.com/overlandlady. Free shipping to all these places. But keep in mind, if you want your Vessi to arrive before Christmas, make sure to get your orders in before December 17th. Remember, you aren't going to eliminate rainy days, but you can certainly dress for the weather. I wanted to see the Rivian out camping for real and get the owner himself to share his first-person experience. So let's get the specs over with, so Dom doesn't need to explain any of that. This one we got here is a quad motor, meaning it has 4 electric motors, one for each wheel. 908 foot-pound torques, 835 horsepower. One full charge claims to last 328 miles or 527 clicks. That's more than a full tank of petrol 100 series Land Cruiser's range. Later, Dom added that running on all-purpose is about 288 miles or 463 clicks. Still, not bad at all. Still more than my petty cruiser. 35.5 degree approach angle and 30 degree departure angle, you can tell Rivian aimed for the off-road agility. What impressed me the most is the full skid underneath.
We had a technology problem. So earlier filmed all of this and the audio was not recording. It's probably the camera's problem, so we swapped the camera and hopefully now it's good with a mic too, so yeah.
That's just, it's just
Try
great.
to surprise me again.
All right.
I've never seen this before.
I've never showed her anything. I just got here. We haven't been doing anything all day long. So yeah, let's check out the Frunk.
The Frunk.
The Frunk.
F-R-O-N-K?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never actually typed it out. It is where engine sits, but not in here, not in the Rivian. This is where my camera gear sits at, my battery backup, extra blankets, first aid, running boards underneath. Like my charging cord and everything is down there too, because I can charge at most RV places or plug it into a wall. But that would take like forever to even get a mile.
So I see you have a Anchor 2000.
Yep.
There is one question I've been thinking. If you drive a fully electric vehicle, would you still use a portable power station? Because I use a Jackery and it makes sense because I don't have a inverter or anything in the car.
Yes, I mean, yes and no. I mean, like for the simple, if I use my car's battery, which I do for my induction kitchen and everything like that, yeah, I mean, I would use my car. But for the like battery backup and everything like that, for accessories, for like charging or anything, I don't want to use up mileage. Because each watt, the wattage, the ampage, whatever you want to call it, pretty much the wattage, the kilowatts, is what I use as my gasoline.
Yes.
And so if I'm using it to do like heating my tent or something like that, with like a sleeping blanket,
You drive less.
Yeah, and so I'll lose a couple miles. So like whenever I set up the Campstream tonight, I'll have the vehicle on the entire time and I'll lose about 15% of my battery.
What's a Campstream?
The Campstream is, I hook it up to my window and it actually hooks up to my, my AC and heat. And it's a tube that goes all the way to my tent and I can control it if I want it hotter or colder.
So essentially, instead of using a diesel heater or propane heater, you're using your car's heat vent and directly tube it to your tent and heat up your tent using the vehicle's heat.
Correct.
That is
And you don't have to worry about carbon monoxide either. So that's the greatest part. You don't have to wake up all with a headache and stuff like that. I'm a little bit older. I kind of want some creature comforts.
Yes.
So
yeah. So you said induction cooker you would use your car?
So there's a plug in my gear tunnel. So my gear tunnel, it's supposed to be for your gear, but I have it on a gear slide. We should look at it.
Oh yeah, we should look at it.
We should look at it. This is my gear tunnel. You can open up on both sides, but first off, you can use this as a seat. It holds up to 250 pounds.
Okay.
So it's pretty sturdy.
I guess if you have stuff on the roof, you can like step on it too. Does this open?
Yep. Because that is my, here.
Oh!
It's my first aid. Yeah. There we go.
Whoa. Does it go more? Oh,
Keep going.
go more.
Keep going.
Wow.
About right there. So it rests on the bottom of this door. And so then now we fold this out like this.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the induction cutting board area. Even though whenever I have the tent open, I operate over there. These bags are actually really awesome too. Fill that. It's by a company here in Washington. I don't know the company's name. They just have that says.
They don't even have a logo.
No, they don't. But it's quite nice because like even this one right here.
Oh yeah, that one's handy.
I don't have anything in here. Yeah.
Yeah, that one you can put all the
My handy stuff is on the other side.
Sweet.
This was by. So they were called Everything and the Camp Kitchen, but now they're called Thunderbolt Adventure Supply. Marine grade plywood that they cut in all these different pieces and he puts them together. And then it comes in 4 different sections. So each one of these sections can be removed at any time, and then the gear tunnel.
So modular.
The gear slide, yep. And so people are like, is it okay to get wet? And I'm like, yeah, because it has some sealant on top. Right now it's plugged into the vehicle. And so I can turn this on.
Where does your wire run?
Back here. So back here into over here. So like over here is a 120. Over on the other side is a 12 volt. So I got plugs everywhere, even in the back of my truck.
Is that a coffee machine in there?
It is. Look, I glamp sometimes, okay? I went camping with the Rivian people, and one of them used to be a barista or whatever.
Oh.
They brought an entire espresso machine, like a $3,000 espresso machine. They were my camp neighbors, so I had fresh espresso in the morning.
Wow. Yeah. The crazier thing I've seen is just in Australia, a lot of people have a little Nespresso machine on the side tucked in, and you can slide out. But yeah.
They had a full-on setup.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I like this camp kitchen. The only thing I dislike, it's not necessarily the camp kitchen itself. I just lose a whole bunch of storage.
Well, if you have your trunk back. You will have all that.
Listen. So what ended up happening, I texted her, I was like, hey, my trunk broke. She's like, what do you mean your trunk broke? I'm like, the tailgate will not go up. So I drove all the way from Seattle to Everett with my tailgate just laying down. It's one of like 7 things wrong with this vehicle. It's small little minute things, but I need to get it fixed.
Yeah.
But besides that, I love this thing.
1 out of the 7. What's the other 6? So
that front right tire right there doesn't go up all the way, the suspension.
Oh.
It hangs down about 1/2 inch. They just need to reset one of the things that are in there and then it'll be fine.
The baseline.
My passenger seat shakes, but I mean, like it's a truck and you're going down roads.
The seat itself shakes?
Yeah, it does a...
And it's not a
vibration.
bolt?
I don't know what it is. And then also I can't listen to heavy bass music, which sucks.
What do you
because
mean? Things shake? The bass shake?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'll let you listen to it in a second, but it's ridiculous how it sounds. It's a high pitch vibration.
Huh.
What else did I say was wrong? I don't know. I had a list of 6 or 7 things, but the worst part about Rivian is their lack of service stations. They're building them as fast as they can, but Bellevue was pushed out almost 6 months for me to get a service date.
So you're stuck with these 7 problems.
7 deadly sins of Rivians. 7 deadly Rivian sins. Yes, we're gonna coin that right there.
Yeah.
The cool thing is that I can talk to anyone right now on my phone. Like I can send them a message and they will fix whatever I need. These are called pucks. This is how this is stupid. It's not stupid, it's just a different technology. You know how you can only have jack points and everything for your car to jack it up?
Yep.
We have little sections right there to where we have to put these in there for jack points. So you attach your jack at the bottom and attach it to the bottom in 4 different spots. And that's how we're able to jack up our vehicles.
Huh. So it doesn't have a jack on its spot on its own?
No, you can't do it on like a pinch welder or anything like that.
Huh.
So you got to actually like certain points. Because this thing is heavy. This thing is 7,000 pounds. And to go get a tire rotation and everything, the only people that are trained on it to do a tire rotation besides the service department is the discount tire. And so they don't even put it on their machine because it hurts their machine.
Their hoist?
Mm-hmm. So... You
might almost need to go to like a commercial...
You would think.
Truck.
You would think. But yeah. Welcome to the camp kitchen. It's where I get all my stuff done.
I love these little like...
Oh yeah, they're little symbols.
Accent. Thunderbolt. It shows their Thunderbolt Adventure Supply.
I have a beer can opener. Or a beer bottle opener.
Oh. So before I figured out my mic wasn't recording, I was talking about the color of this car. It's a little darker now, so I don't know if it still shows as good on camera, but at the time when I was talking, the car almost looks baby bluish. So I thought maybe the sparkle has a layer of blue tint pearl, but it turns out it's not. It's just the base silver. It's actually the only color in the Rivian lineup that you don't have to pay premium on top of. And the funny thing is, it actually becomes rarer. My guess is probably when you're paying so much for a vehicle, people want to spec it up to as much as they can since they're paying that much anyway. So the base color actually becomes rare. Silver, you would think it's a boring color. That's what I always thought. But it just shimmers in a weird way where the environment color captures in the paint. And so when the sky is blue, it kind of shows in a baby blue color. It's a very interesting color. It has a depth into it instead of a flat gray. I don't know. I like interesting colors.
We're just gonna do that.
What is that?
It's, I don't want to tell you. It's,
Why is...
I mean, it's lamb, but like, I just feel bad because I know you're a pescatarian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this cute little pouch.
Oh, I love that thing so much.
All of your, like, condiment, and you can hang it somewhere, I'm assuming. Yes? Yep. Oh, you hang it this way?
Yeah. It's weird.
I guess it's, like, tight, so things won't slide out anyways.
Amazon special.
Oh, Amazon! I was gonna ask who made it.
Yeah, no, Amazon special. It's, one thing I love about it, it has all the spices I need.
Oh, like the jar comes with it?
Yeah, the jars come with it. Salt and pepper, my oil if I need it.
Send me a link. I'll plug it in the description.
It's so cheap.
The hand sanitizer you're squeezing?
No, it's olive oil. Oh, but like, Jesus. These potatoes, this onion, and this green bean, I grew myself in my yard. And so, very self-sustained. If I can have lamb, if I can make lamb in my yard, I have chickens.
Farm to table, green beans.
Instead of talking about like how many miles to the gallon does something use, or what's your MPG whenever you're off-road, we do it by how much wattage. It's simpler to say it takes about 10% of my battery, or something like that.
Yeah.
But like I was doing earlier today, I mentioned to you that going downhill recharges my battery.
Yeah.
And gives me extra miles.
That is pretty cool. Would I get in trouble for filming Anchor?
Yeah, if you have Anchor.
No.
Whenever you're sponsored by Jackery.
No, well, no. This video is not sponsored by Jackery, and in fact, it is sponsored by Betsy. The cool thing about this specific unit, the Anchor 2000 that Dom's using right now, is that it can charge the Rivian to like what, 5 miles?
Like 5 miles.
5 miles,
Yeah.
which is enough to get you to some places if you just need that little bit of juice, you know.
If you're stuck somewhere for a couple days and it's an emergency situation and you have your solar panels with you,
Oh yeah.
it can charge it up, then recharge to get you enough of something to get out. It's like having a can of gas. I can do it to where my can of gas, but it gets really expensive whenever I do the 3800s. And that gives me about 15 miles. And they're really heavy.
Yeah.
They're like, what, 80 pounds or so? So my fuel can is 80 pounds and, what, $8,000 or something?
A lot of time when people are saying all these things that full electric might have, or your range, and how do you like fill up and all this stuff. If you really, really think about it, gas cars have the same problem. Either you fit up with more jerry cans inside, extra battery in this case, and which also means actual weight, and yeah, it's the same if you think about it.
I think in the future these vehicles are going to have a lot more range. Right now, do I recommend people buying them? No. This vehicle works perfect for me. I tell people all the time, get the vehicle that works for you, or what you can afford at the time. And so with me, I needed a vehicle that my grandma could get in and out of because I take care of her. It's able to drop to 9.5 inches to where she's easily able to get in, grab the handle and hop in, or if I need to assist her in, I can. But then I use it for my business, and it is I go about 200 miles in a day for my real estate media company. And so sometimes that gas bill, $200 to $300 a week. And so people are like, well, how much extra is it going to be in electricity? Last month was only an extra $100 of electricity. And between June and now, I put on almost 10,000 miles. So an extra $100. But then I also wanted a 4x4 so that I can go off-road. And so this has 4x4. But then I also wanted creature comforts, like, you know, nice and comfortable on the road. Some power. It has 835 horsepower. And you know what I get to do with that? That's 11.5 second quarter mile with all-terrain tires. 34s. Can you believe that? My Supra didn't even do that. Like, this vehicle has ruined every single car for me.
Yeah.
I could go get a Supra, another Supra, because they were fun to drive, but they would be slower than this truck.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, race a Supra with a truck.
Yeah, it will lose. In fact, it beats a TRX, a stock TRX. Like, if you've done nothing to it, stock for stock, this thing beats it. The Hummer EV is probably the only other thing that really keeps up with it right now. But that's limited to 106 miles, and we're limited to about 114 miles. Top speed. So, I don't recommend this for everyone. It works great for what I do.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I can off-road, I can use it for work, I can use it for grandma duties, driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
Can't complain. And I get to sleep in it. So if I'm ever homeless. Beautiful. Betsy.
Lamb, homemade
Potatoes.
green bean, and potato,
And onions.
and onions. So the veggies are homegrown.
All homegrown.
Now
I
you
did
just
not grow the lamb.
you grow the lamb.
I did not. One day I'll have that. I will be a lamb and alpaca farmer. I
Alpaca.
just want alpacas.
The sleeping setup is pretty straightforward. iCamper 2.0 on Rivian's factory crossbar. Dom had switched the strap to the ones on iCamper 3.0, so the clips are easier to get to.
So this came from my door, and let me show you where it goes. So there's no batteries needed for it, and it's 1,000 lumens, which is really awesome. But it comes here. It goes into the car. Oh. And charges by the car too.
Like those Rose Rays will have an umbrella out there. You have a torch.
A torch.
It's a torch.
A torch. And then we're chatting about it too. I don't use it as much, but you could probably find, sorry, I got a lot of drinks. You probably will find some use out of it, but a rechargeable, it charges with the car. Camp speaker, Bluetooth speaker. You can take it out and bring it inside wherever you want, and it'll play your music for you while you're camping.
So it just sits there, become part of the center console?
Yep.
When it's driving?
Correct. Just slides right in like that. It's pretty hefty. You probably do some curls with it, you know?
Yeah.
This car has some pretty unique things, like this recycled material. Same with the dash is recycled material. I think the leather is vegan leather. So it's not real leather, but it's pretty durable. Like, I put it through its paces. I don't treat this like a $90,000 car. I damage it. I use it for my work. I run over things that I shouldn't, you know, spill coffee in the seats. Sorry, don't hear that, Rivian, but it's held up for the most part, besides the small little things that I have broken with it.
It's how you test a vehicle too.
Yeah, make sure it works.
Yeah.
You ever see some people buy a vehicle and then like baby it every 24/7?
Yeah, most people.
A lot of people do.
I just noticed there's like a little logo.
They're literally everywhere. They want to make sure that you know you're in a Rivian.
Yeah.
Did you show them the roof, the ceiling?
Is that like
it's all glass.
All you can see.
All glass. And
all the way back.
98% of UV protection too. So like unless you're like in California or something, to where like in San Diego, you don't really need a shade on there. I have a shade, bought a shade, never used the shade. So this is where we keep the hose and all the attachments, because it even has attachments for bike tires and everything too.
To have a tow point hitch.
Yeah. So it's underneath here. We just got to get underneath there and remove 2 bolts.
Oh, take the cover out and stuff. So we have a compressor built in with the Rivian, but right now because the tailgate can't open, I'll just give you guys a sneak peek of what it looks like.
If I really needed to, I'll drop it so it can air out. But you can attach the hose right here and then set your PSI to whatever PSI you want. So like for this truck, we set it to 50 PSI and just wrap it around to all 4 tires.
It auto stops and stuff?
Auto stops, yeah.
Sweet.
You got to reset it each time. It's a little bit finicky sometimes. So.
Okay, I know this can be a touchy subject and one especially hard to swallow for the big old diesel lovers. Look, I have a petty 100 and I've got less range per tank than the Rivian's full charge. That is not to say I don't have my eyes on a diesel Land Cruiser. Though I agree, the reliability department in Toyota can't be beat. An electrical vehicle is still so new, bugs and updates are constant. But this is to be expected at the beginning stage, along with the service and charging location issues. But I came here today with an open mind to see what this new era of camping offers. The tunnel kitchen was a cool idea. A vehicle heater instead of diesel heater blows my mind. As an air fryer user, I take battery power for granted. If I overuse any, worst case, I don't get to eat hot food or have a cold night without heating blanket. But for an EV, every piece of salmon I cook in that fryer, I am cooking away mileage. Although fractional, it's a new concept to adapt. Though I will say, the look of an Rivian is starting to grow on me. The built-in camping mode and bird chime at startup, all too cute. So what's your take? I know we've only touched on the very surface of what this vehicle is about. What would you like to know? Perhaps we'll do a part 2?
Listen, she mentioned it before, but I did message her.
Who?
You.
Oh.
Yeah, I was talking to the camera right there. I was talking to the audience right there.
I'm the she.
So what ended up happening, I texted her. I was like, hey, my trunk broke. She's like, what do you mean your trunk broke? I'm like, the tailgate will not go up.